So we joined the program, I reckon it had to have been autumn 2023, so just over a year and a bit ago. We wanted help to work out what was going to grow, and we've got very dark, basaltic, moisture-loving clay. Like, it's really hard to work with. It's like modelling clay sometimes. So what we hoped to achieve was getting advice and information about what to do, like what plants were going to work, what was local to our area. Tastes have changed and evolved over time as to what we wanted in a garden. The more time we spend out locally bush, doing like the Lilydale Warby Rail Trail or things like that, we're just like, oh, we want more natives, but we didn't know where to start. So we were hoping for advice, helping identify what were pests and just what might really do well with the soil. And also how to suppress the grass. We didn't know how to kill it back safely without destroying the soil. So before we joined the program, our garden wasn't really a garden. It was a lot of lawn. There was no trees to remove, no plants to remove. It was just a blank slate, thankfully. I've been told we've done a lot to our garden since we've joined the program. It still doesn't feel like enough. We have used things like cardboard and newspaper and bush mulch to suppress the grass. And then we've bought lots of plants from the local Indigenous nurseries, and we've just sort of been slowly working on like big feature plants and then putting in rocks and stumps so that there's, shelter and things that might attract the birds. We've put in a bird bath here, and we've done some bird baths out the back. And just slowly chipping away at planting, and when we go out and about we see inspiration going, yep, really love that plant, will it work? If it's not a fuss pot and it doesn't mind wet feet, pretty much guaranteed to buy it. And just slowly chipping away at variety and aiming for plants that will attract wildlife, really. We have massive further plans for our garden. We're waiting for a landscaper to come in and put in some paths, and then we'll be able to finish filling out through here. So there's a whole lot more plants to go in. We want to completely plant this other area next to the path. We're going to put in a new retaining wall near the driveway. We've got all the way down the long side of our house to do once the path and garden beds go in, and all at the back. So the plan is for as many local natives. We're looking forward to being able to put some upper story plants in. What have I learned since being in the program is we've actually got such a variety of local native plants. Like, there is a lot of yellow and there's a lot of white going on in the flowers, but it's just stuff that I thought perhaps were weeds. Like, you go and walk and you go, oh, okay, that's messy or it's brambly, whatever, and then you start to appreciate going, oh no, that's actually a local good guy. We want to see more of them, and just what plants do and don't attract. Just because it's got flowers doesn't necessarily mean it's going to attract anything, which I thought was interesting. And things like, needing the diversity of, you can't just have everything a hedge or everything low, that, some birds will want the prickly little plants like the grevillea to hide in, but you've also then need to be able to give upper canopy stuff, because they all want something different. Last summer in particular, because of the bird bath and the big old stump and things like that we've got here, we've seen a lot more birds, and seeing the birds interact with each other, like the different species or within the species and the competitions that they have. We've had a blue-tongued lizard out the back, got geckos and skinks hiding in bits and pieces like old bricks and stuff. But we're hoping that once we actually have a proper garden, they'll live in the garden. My favourite part of the garden, it changes. Like, I'm loving looking at the flowers coming out at the moment. I get very excited that I've got flowers because I haven't had flowers. It's hard to pick. Like, I love watching the Epacris or watching things get bigger. That's probably my favourite bit, is seeing them grow. I have plans for my nature strip. Once everything else is done, I would really like to just chip away at it and either put like local grasses and ground covers in. We go on hikes and my best friend and I are going, look, it's an Epacris just growing out the side of the bank, and it's just mocking us, because we'll put something in and it dies. Here we are giving it, love, tenderness, care, whatever you need, and it's not happy, and then you go out the wine and it's just like, it's growing out of a rock. I would highly recommend other residents joining in this program. If you actually genuinely care about, reforestation, revegetation, and even a little bit things related to do with climate change. If they can learn about what was here originally, or even just sort of in the neighbourhood, like Yarra Ranges plant directory is amazing. I've got it shortcut on my phone, so when I'm out and about, like I can try and look it up, and then I can at least know that it's in our area, even if it's not local. And I can see what it attracts birds or butterflies or frogs, and will it do well in my soil, like how big it gets. I think once they know those resources are there, and if they, have an interest in local plants, or, want to increase the wildlife in their garden. Not all of my plants are from Victoria. I think it's making the smart choices about, attracting and giving homes to the wildlife. There's a huge loss in wildlife and the insects in the population, so whatever we can do to return that, I think would be a really good idea.